Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Wessli-Ann. If you're new here, I would love it if you would subscribe down below. Join the fam. It's a fun time on my channel. I do a lot of lifestyle videos. I recently just got married, so obviously that's why you can tell by the title of this video. I'm doing another wedding video. I have a ton of things that I learned along the way through the wedding process that I really want to share with you guys. And I just want to do like a whole little wedding series of different topics. So today's video is all about how I saved money during my wedding. I know that is always the big question when you get married, is how in the world do you afford a wedding? It's so expensive. You throw a wedding in front of anything and the price automatically just shoots through the roof. And I truly believe that these 12 things will help you so much in the long run when it comes to your wedding and saving money. I probably saved at least $1,000 off my wedding budget just by doing these little things to save some money along in different categories with my wedding and everything. So I just want to share it with you guys so that hopefully it can help you if you're in the wedding planning process and you're trying to figure out how you're going to afford the wedding of your dream. I promise you can do it. My wedding was everything I could have imagined, and I did all these things to save money. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so my first tip is when searching for a venue, make sure that you pick one that includes rentals. So I know for me personally, my venue provided like a few little decor items that I actually used in the wedding. They provided all of my tables, all of my chairs, different seating areas, like type situations for cocktail hour. They provided a ton of different like whiskey barrels and things like that for cocktail hour, and just to set different things on. All of the tables that we needed for the setup for the catering company to put their food on, the bar setup they provided. They provided tables as well for like our gifts and cards table, our guest book table, things like that. And it was included in my venue costs, so I did not have to pay any additional money to rent tables, chairs, anything like that. And it just was so helpful because the day of the wedding, the venue like knew what stuff needed to be set out and they set it all up for me. I didn't have to have a whole extra vendor come in to do that for me. So that was super key when it came to saving money, is I didn't have to already pay my venue costs and rental fees on top of that. So definitely check what your venue offers whenever you're searching for a venue. Next up, when it comes to invitations, wedding companies will get you. They will charge an arm and a leg for invitations that truly people are just gonna end up throwing in the trash by the end of it. Literally, I kind of DIY'd my own invitations. I bought the template off of Etsy and literally input all the information that I needed to by myself, and then I just sent it to a printing company to print, and literally it was like $150 maybe for all the invitations that I had to print. Literally, that's unheard of. And then as far as the envelopes and addressing, a calligrapher, they will kill you. They will charge an arm and a leg. I'm not kidding. So also used Etsy and got a little template for the address, and I just typed that address in there, printed it off on the envelope. It was so smooth and it looked beautiful in my opinion. Guarantee you most of my invitations for the wedding are in the trash at this point, but at least I know that I didn't spend that much money on them to just go in the trash, you know? So next up, a huge chunk of your wedding budget will be spent on florals. And florals are beautiful. They make a wedding, but they are also so overrated. They literally, I got quotes from florists that were like $3,000 was like the cheapest floral quote that I got to do all my florals for my wedding. I'm sorry, what? I'm spending over $3,000 on flowers that are going to barely make it through the day and get thrown in the trash. Like literally, you might as well get $3,000 in cash, put it on a table and chunk it in a trash bag. Like that was my mindset about florals. I was like, absolutely not. So there's a ton of ways that you can save money on florals. One of the ways I was actually considering was using the website Something Borrowed Blooms. They are not paying me to say this in this video at all. I just really think they're a great company if you are looking to have the look of florals but not the expensive aspect of things. definitely look at renting your florals through Something Borrowed Blooms. There's also several other websites that do like floral rentals and stuff, but that's just the one I was looking at. So definitely check them out. They have a ton of different things that they will ship to you for your wedding day. But I ended up going a different route. So I found a florist that was actually kind of new to the floral industry. That's definitely just another little tip to the side of like finding vendors that are new to the wedding industry, because they're typically going to charge you like a lot less and probably going to provide like as good of quality as someone that's experienced, because people that are in the wedding industry, like they're gonna get like lazy and bored with doing the same things over and over again, whereas like someone new is gonna like really be like kind of like a try hard about things, and honestly it'll probably turn out better than the thousands of dollars you would have paid an experienced vendor. Just throwing that out there. I went with a girl that had kind of just gotten into florals for weddings, so she didn't charge me a ridiculous amount for floral, and the only florals I actually went with like through her was my bouquet and my bridesmaids bouquets and our mother's like corsages, and that saved me so much money. First of all, she did an incredible job. I was obsessed with the bouquets and how they turned out, but the rest of my florals, literally I did greenery from Sam's, and let me tell you, it's the best thing ever. I am obsessed with greenery. Greenery is so much cheaper than actual flowers, and it was just the aesthetic I was going for anyway. So it was so perfect that I could just go through Sam's. I actually had my aunt kind of decorate the space, the reception space. She did such a great job, but she kind of did all the greenery stuff for me. She also went out and got some greenery. Like you can literally just go around and find like a huge patch of greenery somewhere and cut it yourself. Like I'm not kidding, guys. Like just DIY the crap out of your wedding. It will be so worth it. But I basically just went with a bunch of greenery for my other extra florals and stuff, and it turned out beautifully. So highly recommend ordering your greenery from Sam's. They will give you an entire huge like bunch of greenery, and you can order bunches and bunches of it, however much you want. You will save so much money. It's totally worth it. Okay, next item that will take a big chunk of your budget is your dress. So I actually had a lot of money in my dad basically made a spreadsheet of like my total budget at the bottom and broke down each category as to how much money I could spend on each thing, and my goal was to save money in every single category, and probably the area I saved the most money was my wedding dress. So I got my wedding dress from New York Bride and Groom. There's a ton of different ones like around, at least I know where I'm from. So it's not just like one limited like boutique, like only one location. And they have so many beautiful designers. My dress designer was Essence of Australia. I know it's a really popular designer. And I was in love with my dress. I tried on probably 12 different dresses. Loved every single one of them, honestly, but that one was like the one that just like, it got me. I started crying. I knew it was the one. So this is how it worked out for me. Not that I was trying to make it work out this way, but it worked out so well. I went to like all the different little sections and racks of dresses, went through all of them, and then they had a whole other section that was discontinued dresses. Now this does not mean anything like was wrong with the dresses. It's just the designer does not make that style dress anymore. It's discontinued. So because of that, the dresses are super discounted. So I went in that area and I was like, I wasn't even gonna look. My mom was like, just go look, you might find something. I ended up picking, I think, 2 dresses from that area. And the one dress that I ended up wearing, obviously, made it into my top 3 dresses. Tried all those on again and ended up crying with the one that I wore, which just so happened to be a discontinued dress. So that means that I was way under my budget for my wedding dress. I highly recommend checking the discontinued racks at wedding dress shops, because you will get just as beautiful of a dress. Like literally there's nothing wrong with it other than the fact that the designer is not making that style anymore. And you will get a dress for fractions of the cost. Like, I'm not kidding you guys. I saved so much money on my wedding dress. It's not even funny. Next, you will need to decide what kind of entertainment you want to have at your wedding, whether that be a DJ, live band, whatever. Live bands typically are going to be more expensive than a DJ, but for us, we decided to go with a DJ just because that was more our vibe anyway. That's what we wanted for the reception. But for the ceremony, I wanted to have live music. So we ended up going with one of the groomsmen who is insanely talented on guitar and has an incredible voice, and he played all the songs for our ceremony and did not charge us a penny. Of course, I put it in our budget to pay him, but he was too nice and was like, no, I'm not taking your money, this is my gift to y'all. So that was so sweet of him. But it honestly just worked out so well. It was literally everything I could have imagined, like, and I would have paid someone else to do probably not even as good as him, and would have paid them a fortune just to do my ceremony music. So with that being said, utilize your friends. If you have talented friends, utilize them for your wedding day. I also, one of my bridesmaids, her sister is a hairstylist, and she did all of our hair for the wedding, like all the bridesmaids, my hair, my mom's hair, and she discounted it just because I'm friends with her and her sister. So I don't know, it was just like, it's just one of those things where it's like, utilize your friends. Like, I know you guys have talented friends. Utilize them for stuff for your wedding, because I promise you, most of the time they're gonna put their heart and soul into it, whereas someone that you're paying all this money that doesn't even know you isn't gonna try as hard. And it was just really cool to like be able to like include those people in my wedding day as well. So just use your friends, you'll save money and they will appreciate it, and you will too. Next up, this is like gonna be, if you take one thing away from this video, take this: DIYs. So I did all of the decor, all the florals, all that stuff by myself, other than the bouquets and stuff that I told you about. But I did all of that by myself for the most part. Like, I had people obviously help set it up, but I'm saying like the organization of it and creation and vision of it all, I did myself. You're gonna pay a fortune for a wedding planner, wedding decorator to come in and do this for you. Utilize the people in your life to help you. There's so many people around you that want to be a part of your wedding day and help in any way possible, so utilize it, please, because you will thank yourself for it later, because your bank account will not be hurting. This also kind of ties in with the using your friends for things. My friend Jenny is incredible with calligraphy. She did all of my number signs, which were just wooden blocks. I'll insert a picture of how they looked right here, but I literally had a friend cut them for me, and me and my other friend stained them, and then she wrote the like numbers on them. She also did the like cards and gifts sign and all that kind of stuff. Another thing I DIY'd was the copper sign that was like that had our welcome sign. Like, literally all the decorations I did myself. I bought all of our glass cylinders with the votive candles and everything by myself. I made our seating chart by myself. I did that with just a palette that I got from a friend, and my other friend helped me sand it, and then I just used one of those Etsy templates and printed out my seating chart. I loved how it turned out. So that saved me money because I wasn't paying someone to make me a whole seating chart. I'm trying to think what else I DIY'd. Like, there was literally so many things, guys, that like, it's just like, if you look at something and you're like, I can do that, do it, because you will save so much money. DIY like crazy for your wedding. I promise it's worth it. Next up, you will spend a lot of money on hair and makeup. I told you already, my hair was done by my bridesmaid sister, and I ended up actually doing my own makeup. So if you're talented with makeup, I highly recommend doing your own makeup, because makeup artists will charge you a fortune to do your makeup on your wedding day. If you already love how you do your makeup, just do it yourself. That's what I ended up doing. I honestly haven't had that many people do my makeup, but when people have done my makeup in the past, I've never really felt confident or really liked how it looks. I just love the way I do my own makeup, so I knew on the wedding day, like, I like would want to do my makeup the way I feel the prettiest, you know? I don't know. So if you feel like you're good at doing your makeup and you're confident in your abilities with that, do your own makeup. You will save so much money. Next up, wedding accessories. So many. I did not spend a fortune on shoes at all. I got the most beautiful shoes from Broadway Shoe, Off-Broadway, whatever it's called, and I think I spent 40 bucks on them. Don't go to David's Bridal and get shoes. Don't, like, literally, shoes are shoes. Like, I took mine off for the reception. Like, barely wore them long enough. Literally, I only wanted pretty shoes for like the details picture that the photographer would take. So yeah, do that. Don't go to a bridal shop for shoes, because they'll charge you like crazy. And I ended up getting my veil actually off of Etsy. Let me tell you, I tried on a veil at the place that I got my dress from. That veil was like $400. I was like, what? I wore my veil for I wore it for the ceremony and some pictures, and that was it. And I was gonna spend $400 on that. Absolutely not. So, and literally all it is tulle, and like the one at the bridal shop had some lace on the bottom. Like, I don't know. I was just like, $400? Are you kidding me? No. So I ended up just doing an Etsy veil, and it was absolutely beautiful. I had my bridal shop just steam it for me when they steamed my dress, and It was perfect, loved it. It was super simple, which is what I wanted. Definitely check Etsy for things that you can DIY or things like wedding accessories, because they do have a ton of good affordable options that will not break your bank account. The next thing you're gonna spend a lot of money on is alcohol at your wedding if you choose to have alcohol. Highly recommend not doing hard liquor. One, your guests will have just as good of a time with just beer and wine, or at least I hope that they can have just as good of a time. I know my guests did, like they had no issues with it. Liquor just gets so expensive and it's just not necessary in my opinion. Like, you're already providing your guests free alcohol, like free beer and wine. Like, why do you need to do liquor too, you know? I mean, obviously if you have the money to spend on that and you want to spend that and that's really important to you, totally go for it. But for us, we just did not feel the need to spend even more money on alcohol than we were already spending. Just providing beer and wine alone is expensive, much less having to provide liquor. We're still doing open bar, beer and wine, but no liquor. Just cut it out. You don't need it and you will save so much money. Next tip, don't do a cake. Or do a cake, but a small cake for you and your husband to cut, and then do a totally different dessert. There's so many options. So many people do little like bite-sized desserts, different like dessert stations. I know a lot of people do like family members will make their own famous desserts and have at the wedding. I think that's so cool and sentimental. We ended up doing a donut wall. So we had a small cake that we cut, obviously, and we wanted to have the top tier to like eat on our 1-year anniversary. But then for the main dessert, we did a donut wall from Krispy Kreme. Zach and I love donuts, so, and I've always wanted a donut wall like for my wedding. So we ended up doing a donut wall, and let me tell you, they were a hit. And actually the donuts that we had, my old boss in college works with Krispy Kreme now, and he actually got a deal on the donuts and he paid for them for us, so we didn't even have to pay for the donuts, which is so nice. Going back to knowing people, it's so nice to know people with connections and talents for your wedding. And last but not least, I think this was 12 tips, I hope it was, but do your RSVPs online. So I did my RSVPs through The Knot, so our website was on theknot.com, and we used their RSVP feature to do our RSVPs. So that meant on our little details card that we included in our invitations, we just put the link. We said, please RSVP here by this date, blah, blah, blah. The second they RSVP'd, I got an email. It said accepted, declined. It was just so convenient, and it organizes all the names for you. I can, like, if I was like, oh, did that person RSVP? I don't know if I put it in my spreadsheet. I could easily just go on there. Look at Billy. Have you been in the frame the whole time, buddy? I could easily just go on there and check and like type their name and see if they RSVP'd. It was so easy, and I think everyone else appreciated it because all they had to do was literally go on their phone, RSVP. Super easy. They didn't have to go to the post office and mail out a RSVP card. Again, I don't think there's any issues with doing online RSVPs. I actually think it's a lot more convenient for your guests, and they will appreciate it. Then you also don't have to pay for RSVP cards when you order your invitations. You don't have to pay for the stamps for the RSVP cards, and literally it will help you so much because you're not just waiting for these RSVPs to come in the mail. So I think that is going to be it for today's video. I really hope you found this helpful and it kind of gave you some ideas of how you can cut costs when it comes to your wedding. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any other wedding related questions, please drop them below. You can DM me on Instagram. I'm always more than happy to help you with wedding stuff. That is going to be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. There'll be more wedding content to come, so stay tuned and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you guys in my next video.